to speed unnecessarily. Is it wise to use road unworthy vehicles? Is it wise to overload? Is it wise to overtake, even when it's not necessary or risky? Is it wise to drive under the influence of alcohol? Is it wise to have unlicensed drivers on our roads? Our roads as place of slaughtering humans, because of last time we were here, we had the reports that about 4,000 people have died just in 1 year. So accidents beat even COVID-19 in taking lives of our people. So it's time now, gentlemen and ladies who are here, and maybe those out there, to see how serious it is necessary for us to have safe roads. And this is to come by way of having doing safe speeding, and therefore save life. I noted words of counsel from even today our guest of honor, General Katumba Wamala, when he said, the Minister of Works and maybe Health and others, it's time that we bring on board even religious institutions in areas of awareness about road safety. Honorable Minister, personally I've begun on the same. At times the Bishop of Kampala, that is the Archbishop, and the Bishop of Namirembe calls upon me to come and minister. So I've been going around for confirmations, and on these occasions I've been telling people that they should take note of the need for road safety. I did read this book, the code, what do you call it? Yeah, this is my first time to look at it. Unfortunately, much as I would have got involved in the same. Safe speeding is all for the purposes of saving life. I was reading that book, and it was said, before you set off, see that you are in the the mood, that your health, that you are not disturbed. But I want also to advise that before you embark on the journey, should the driver invoke God before embark on these journeys on the roads. That is, you the drivers, or us the drivers of the vehicles, and the passengers. In the book of Ezra, chapter 8, verse 21, it says, we prayed that God would give us a safe journey and protect us, our children, as we traveled. Seems important that we always do evening pray. And I think it's because of that the Ministry of Works and Transport considered it fit to invite us that we be part of this arrangement. Thank you. So do it again and again. Involved us. Joshua says, chapter 24, verse 17, as we traveled through the wilderness, God preserved us. We can do these other things, being sober, having roadworthy vehicles on the road, which is not normally the case. I don't know how it is in urban areas, but deep in the villages, Ganya vehicles are on the roads. And so it's no surprise that we have so many accidents. I only wish you all the best as we deliberate and go a fellowship and be reminded and be educated for safe speeding and therefore our lives are saved. Thank you so much. May the good Lord continue to bless you. And I will call upon Sheikh Kasimo Hassan to offer a prayer.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for this occasion, for inviting us. I would like, before I start, quote that we are now in the month of December, going towards Christmas and other religious functions. In the Holy Quran, Surah Maryam, chapter of Maryam, the mother of Jesus, clearly mentions the day when Jesus was born, which is Christmas. So safety roads towards the churches, mosques, and other religious places is a very essential issue. For this reason, I'm going to offer a prayer. I ask all of you to be humble. We pray for our government to increase safety and security towards the roads to prayer and worship. By this, I'm going to read it in Arabic and I'll translate it in English. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتوب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. By this prayer, it says, O our Lord Allah, Lord of the universe, we ask you for the good and blessings in this world. We ask you for the blessings of our whole prophets whom God has sent. We also ask for the peace and blessing in our country. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Thank you very much.
Honorable Minister and all our invited guests, through you, I would like to just mention a few our guests that we have here today. Of course, we have the PS who is just next to you. The Director Transport is just next to you. And we have our members of Parliament, the Parliamentary Forum for Road Safety and Infrastructure Committee. Of course, we have our religious leaders here. We have the Undersecretary Commissioners from the Ministry of Works and Transport. We have our friends from Uganda Police, the Directorate of Traffic and Road Safety, very well represented. We have the civil society organizations who are very crucial and key stakeholders in road safety. You're very welcome. And of course, we have UNRA, our host, and who is also part of our sector. So before, as we go ahead, I would like to take this opportunity now to invite our children who have a poem, a very educative poem for us on road safety. They are children they are called Care Kids.
Before you is Care Africa with a poem on road safety. Please listen and take notes.
Cyclists, pedestrians, motorists and horse riders, commonly caused by poor roads, reckless driving, cars in dangerous mechanical conditions, non-respect of road signs, leaving millions of Ugandans with severe disabilities, injured, devastated and dying in numbers. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are a victim, know your rights. A right to information, life, a fair hearing, safety of property, insurance compensation, justice but not injustice. Take notes. Road safety, a shared responsibility to everyone. Let's work together to reduce road accidents by safe driving. Do not drink and drive. Wear helmets and seatbelts. Stop overloading, overspeeding. Respect road signs. Stop on use while driving. Thanks to Ministry of Health, Uganda Police, all stakeholders, Ministry of Works and Transport, for constructing good roads with road signs, transport regulation and support. Not forgetting emergency medical services, rehabilitation treatments, helping to avoid secondary traumatization in cities, residential areas to save people's lives. Fellow countrymen, hear our call. All stakeholders, not forgetting Ministry of Works and Transport, insurance companies, Uganda National Roads Authority, civil society organization like Ovita and Care Africa. Sensitize the masses about the dangers of road accidents. Together, we can reduce rampant accidents in Uganda. Safe speed, saves lives. For God and my country. For God and my country.
Thank you. That indeed deserves a standing ovation. Can we stand up for our children? Thank you too. Thank you.
Amputation Winnie Shaloni sazalibwa bwenti nagwa ku kabenja amagulu gombi ne bagajjako ntambuza artificial legs bantomera 214 at first bantomera nesooka nenvundira emulago amagulu ne gavunda nga sirina ssente then nembera mu ddwaliro Koso Hospital paka mwaka ogwaggwako nga ndi ku Koso Hospital okuvaayo navaayo mu 2015 nga bampadde amagulu gano bagampa mu mwezi gwa kutaano 2015 nenvaayo nentandika obulamu nga amagulu gano bajjukira baali bakagamba nga sisobola bitambuza bulungi nga ndi ku migo naye nga pain nga nene abaana nga tebasoma balobera kunze nga nze mulema kusomero nzekka nga abaana nga tebakyasoma nga bali kunze ndinga TV nebinta mukoze emirimu mingi nakolako mu bbaala nakolako mu gundi muki mu dduuka ly'ebizigo nga ntunda bizigo we nava mu dduuka ly'ebizigo we nadda mu bbaala nga mpeereza nga nsaavinga we nava era ne banfunira omulala mu bbaala nga we navaayo nga tebasasula bulungi nenvaawo nengenda nenfuna ne banfunira omulala gwa kawunta naye nga mu bbaala naye ngaobeera mu kawunta tofulumayo nabyo nemikola loosi nezingobayo zo nenvaayo kati ndi waka wentudde naye era nga sente zonna wenzikola amagulu gonooneka nga bwoddayo ne bakolako kalipeeyi amagulu gano ga bbeeyi kati abasawo bagamba amagulu gange kubanga gonooneka mangu gakaddiye naye sente sinaziba era nawe sirina sente ga bbeeyi bukadde na bukadde kati wemba nfunyeyo nga 10 wali wembadde nkola emabega nga ntwala nga bankola lipeeya nga neera ntambuza nagamba ekikulu okola nnyo kyobola bagonooneka nanyo ate nga makadde naye nga omwaka ogugwawo muguli wengenda okutandika neera nziremu noonya omulimu buto naye kati mpulira nakoowa buta okola n'owula ng'okooye abasasula ne bakunyooma nga tolina woyinza kuwa bakagamba nze nebintama kati nawumulamuko kati paka obaka naye nga ne bizinesi yange nandigyetaaze naye wakuba sirina sente zitandikawo bizinesi okutemeka amagulu kisobola otuuka ku muntu yenna kuba nze nazaalibwa ndi mulamba nenkula nenva mu myaka 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mpaka ku myaka 17 we bantemerako amagulu nga ndi mukazi mukulu nayina emyaka 17 ne bagasalako nga naye wali mabega nga sikisuubira nti ndibeera mulema nti nja kuba mulema maaso nali sikimanyi nange nalabiraawo kati which means buli muntu yenna alabiraawo kisoboka oli ne bamutemako ekitundu kye ky'omubiri oba mukono oba kugulu kisoboka.
Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I was not born like this. I was born with the 2 physical legs, but I was traveling somewhere, going for work, and I was a passenger. The vehicle I was traveling in overturned, crushed my leg, my left leg, and it actually cut it off at the scene. It took the rescuers 1.5 hours to take the vehicle off my foot, my leg. The accident took place at midnight, and I reached hospital at 5 in the morning. And all the while I was bleeding. So to me, what was important was, can you reach hospital? And when I was being taken to the hospital in an ambulance, I did not have it, although it was put somewhere at the sides. We thought that the doctors would be able to put it back, but they were not. It was totally crushed. So, and I underwent a few operations, I think 3 operations and 1 medical condition somewhere, and here I am with what you would call an artificial limb. We call it a prosthesis. So, and I'm alive and well. We do not take care how we drive. We do not take care of other road users. Because if you maim a person, he'll never get his limb again. Even if you paid him a compensation of billions of shillings and dollars, the limb will never come back. So, to me, road safety is very important. When I see people driving carelessly, I feel sad because they do not know what it means not to have a limb. They do not know what pain you go through all your life, the different situations you go through all your life. Forget about when you're in hospital, but when you have a limb, you have special situations that come up in your body that nobody can explain. And these are things that they would avoid, that we should avoid, if we drive carefully. If the person I was driving with was a little patient, just a little patient for 3 seconds, that accident would have occurred. Not that he was over speeding, but just not patient. Many of our drivers are not patient. But to me, road safety is very important because I see so many people careless on the road. Safety is not with anyone. Safety is with yourself. Even if you're a passenger, tell this guy, please be careful, drive carefully. If you're with your family, drive carefully, because tomorrow it's your family going to suffer. It's your people going to suffer. It's you going to suffer. If you die or lose an arm, you'll be replaced in your office, and somebody else will come and take your job.
As I mentioned earlier, the CSOs are doing a great job. Let's give them a bigger hand clap, please. And now I would like to take this opportunity to invite our director, the Director Traffic and Road Safety, from our friends from the Uganda Police Force.
Our guest of honor this morning, Minister of Works, honorable members of Parliament, religious leaders, all leaders in your various capacities, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Sacha Philip is my name. I'm the Deputy Director Traffic and Road Safety, Uganda Police Force. Honorable Minister, sir, the road safety situation in the country as we stand but today, our statistics show that for the past 5 years, we've lost 3,500 people consistently to road crashes every year. On top of that, 9,000 come out with very severe injuries. So, we've noted that the majority of these people who die in crashes consist of 34% pedestrians, 31% motorcyclists, 25% passengers, 5% pedocyclists, while drivers contribute 5%. So, interventions have been put in place mainly to focus on reduction and prevention of road crashes, but with emphasis to vulnerable groups that are pedestrians, motorcyclists, and passengers. So we've targeted messages to these groups, and we call upon everyone who is here today to do their part in passing this message to whoever cares to listen. Honorable Minister, I have a small summary of fatalities by age, gender, and I'll kindly run through. In 2020, if we group the accidents below the age of 18, the male who fall within that category, we registered a total of 382. Female, 246. That gives us a total of 628 persons below the age of 18. Then if you go to the age of 18 to 24, for the male, 470. The female, 66, giving us a total of 536. When you go to the age bracket 25 to 34, for the male, we registered 803. the female 118, giving us a total of 921. The age group 35 to 44, the male 570, female 94, giving us a total of 664. Age group 45 to 54, the male 322, female 66, a total of 388. Age group 55 to 64, male 150, female 339, giving us a total of 189. Then age group 65 to 74, the male were 63, female 33, a total of 96. Those above the age of 75, male 44, female 22, total of 66. And for those that we couldn't capture their age groups, we had 141 male, 34 female, a total of 173. So if you're to add up and you see the grand total, you'll see that the male in total, we had 2,945, female 718, giving us a grand total of 3,663. So quick summary says, the male, the fatalities, if you compute this, stands at 80%, while female 20%. You will see that the fatalities that were registered for those who fall below the age of 45 stands at 75%, whereas those however between the 25 and 34, you see that the number reduces a bit. The age between 18 and 24 years accounted for 14.6% of fatalities, while those below 18 accounted for 17.1 fatalities. So in total, if we were to say those below 35 to 1, the total contributed 56.8%. And this is simply because, one, you'll see that the majority who passed on are young. These are school-going kids. These are young adults who are beginning life. So they're up and about most of the times. They're more prone to these accidents. And you'll see that the fatalities registered among those of 75 and above was less. Why? Because they are not so much on the road like these other young, energetic Ugandans. Honorable Minister, sir, as I said, we've targeted particular crimes and offenses that we see that contribute to these fatalities, and these are the ones that more often we target. And this includes careless or inconsiderate use of the motor vehicles, and this we registered a total of 55,000 offenders. Using motor vehicles not in good condition, 54,000 offenders. Riding motorcycles without wearing helmets, 29,000. But Honorable Minister, this number could have been high, but because of their behaviors and the enforcement of it is not as easy as it may appear. Driving vehicles without valid driving license, 20,000. But Honorable Minister, I would want to put it clear that this number will go up because of the improved systems that we've got in place. Then driving in excess of prescribed speed, we registered 9,400 offenders. Similarly, we've got more gadgets and equipments. This is going to improve, Honorable Minister. In place, we have some strategies that we think if we put into use will help us reduce on the crash statistics that we are talking about here. And this includes enforcement, and we shall target accident or crash prone areas that we've already identified. We also intend to sensitize, pass on the message to the community out there so that there's a behavior change. Honorable Minister, there's enhanced training of traffic officers, and mainly this is in relation to the amended act as was mentioned earlier here. We also intend to improve the capacity of the IOVs. Here, Honorable Minister, the last intake, we received new inspectors of vehicles who are trained and they're ready for deployment. I know the moment they're deployed, the whole country will be covered, so we shall have the personnel. The equipment has also been procured, and we shall have all that takes to have these vehicles inspected. Honorable Minister, sir, we also, in line with the CCTVs that have been placed, we've started making use of them to enforce road discipline. And very soon, someone will be receiving receipts on your mobile phones. We don't need to be there. You just receive your receipt on your mobile phone and you pay. Failure to pay, that is an added offense. So let's be mindful. Someone may not be watching, but technology will be watching you and you will not compromise it. Honorable Minister, sir, the Directorate of Traffic takes pleasure in thanking partners that have worked with the Directorate in trying to make our roads safe. KCCA, Ministry of Works, the Bloomberg, all these have been very, very critical in our day-to-day work, and we thank them so much. As the Directorate of Traffic and Road Safety Uganda Police Force, we have some challenges in our enforcement, and we can highlight a few of them. Honorable Minister, the topmost challenge is the Boda Boda issue. We call upon your support to help us enforce discipline in that regard. We also know that corruption is still a very big problem, and this starts with me and you. The traffic person will stop you. Before you ask for your permit, you're pulling out your wallet. The Holy Bible says, don't lead us into. We pray you don't do that. Honorable Minister, we also request that road safety is introduced into our curriculum at all levels so that across the board everyone is aware and everyone takes care of what we need to do. We thank you so much, and we call upon Ugandans now that we are into the festive season. We've already started with our operations to ensure that the festive season is as safe for all the road users. So please, be a responsible road user, be a responsible passenger, and spread the message of road safety across the board. I thank you so much.
I would like to take this opportunity to request the technicians behind there. There is another video on road safety.
The problem of road safety from the global perspective is that the roads still kill many people, and it is estimated that 1.3 million people die every year. And most of these people come from the low-income countries. Uganda is inclusive.
Road accidents account for 1,350,000 deaths each year, with 3 times higher death rates in low-income countries than high-income countries. Nicole Ahumuza Rubondo died on 18th January 2020 at the age of 16 following a road accident in Kasese district during her senior fall vacation. The death of Nicole was devastating.
On 17th of January, we set off for Fort Portal from around Chisasi, because that was the meeting point. And it was exciting, we were all excited. It was Terry, Vania, Nicole, her cousin and the driver. And everything was perfect. It was a TX, we were in a TX, a silver TX. And we set off for Fort Portal in like 5-6 hours. We were there, and of course the vacation had started. It was S4 VAC, and we were happy. We were doing things you planned in school and it actually happened, so that's something rare. We walked around and everything was beautiful, because Fort Portal is a beautiful place. We went to the falls and we were climbing rocks, and of course she was stressed, because there's a picture Nicole has of her when she was climbing and she wanted to cry, saying she's tired. But because she was with us and everyone had energy, she was like, okay, let's just go. So to boost her, she pulled out her phone and sat down and started reading. So we go back home and we are talking about 18th January, going to Queen Elizabeth, what we're going to do, the pictures we're going to take. We're playing games and we're happy, and we go to bed knowing that, you know what, tomorrow is going to be a marvelous day. So the morning of January 18th, we're woken up early, like at around 8, and rushed just upwards, to try and make it in time so that we can maximize the day. We set off for Queen Elizabeth, and in our car it was Terry, Vania, Nicole, Vania's cousin, and the driver. And everything, we were still excited in the car. We were happy. I was playing music, she was reading a novel. And I kept my eye on the road. The road was dusty. Like, visual sight was really hard. It was really dusty, and the road was not even. And by not even, one side was higher than the left. So the right side was higher than the left, and really high. So the road was curving. The higher side was curving out the lower side. So the driver had to get on the higher side. He was either going to hit it in front, which would have taken us to the left, and maybe thrown us to the left. So he tried to hit it on the side. So he turned to go to the higher side, but because it was high, he used a lot of energy. Like, he had to increase the gas to hit it properly. So when he hit it, he turned, trying to balance, but the car becomes unstable, so he tries to balance it back. But then when he's turning it back, it skids off the road and then rolls once, twice, thrice. Then for a very slow time, the fourth time, it settled. I don't know if I had blacked out. When I opened my eyes, there was dust everywhere. The door couldn't open, so I had to pass from the back, and no one was in the car. So I get out, I see Terry, I see Vanya, and then next to the left back tire, Nicole was lying there, and she was breathing. So I ran to her, and I was like, Nicole, Nicole, and then she started crying. So I held her in my hands, and I looked at her, and I was like, Nicole, it's going to be okay, don't worry. And then somebody just came and took her out of my hands, and they took her to the other car. That was, because we were two cars. They took her to the other car, and they took her to the hospital, and I was left there in shock. I was like, she's going to be okay, because I looked at her and there was no blood. She had no blood on her, maybe a few scratches, but other than that, I was like, you know what, everything is going to be okay. So we were optimistic. When we got to the hospital, Vanya's dad stepped out, talked to one of the drivers, and his facial reaction changed. And only from that, we already knew what happened. And tears burst out immediately from everyone. Everyone. Even people witnessing just became sad. She was just with us like an hour back, smiling, reading, and now we have to put her in a coffin and say bye. We were taken back to the home, and then the following day we had to go for a funeral service. When we reached there and we saw the coffin moving, it finally hit me that Nicole has actually died. The following day, when I had to put soil and a flower in her grave, in her pink grave, I realized that this had actually happened, and Nicole had actually died. And that's the story of the accident from January 18th.
We have chosen to use the tragedy to give the young people a voice in road safety through the Nicole Foundation. The Nicole Foundation, a not-for-profit, non-government organization, is committed to road safety through involving the voices of young people.
The establishment of Nicole Foundation is testament that Nicole did not die in vain. Her death has brought together a number of partners for a common purpose of promoting road safety on our roads. Road traffic injuries cause considerable economic losses to individuals, their families, and to the nation as a whole. These losses arise from the cost of treatment, as well as the loss of productivity for those killed or disabled. This is in addition to the psychological trauma and emotional scars that the affected families go through when their loved ones get involved in road traffic accidents.
The objectives of this foundation are to: 1, contribute to the promotion of the secure use of vehicles and safety on the road, especially amongst the youth. Leverage young people's voices in contributing to the campaign for road safety. Provide a platform for the remembrance of Nicole's tremendous friendship, spirit, and leadership potential. Promote and contribute to policies, laws, and regulations that govern road traffic in Uganda.
people are dying there in waters. No statistics, nothing. Luckily enough, Honourable Minister, the Inland Water Transport Act was approved. At least now we have a legal framework. So we shall be happy to work with our colleagues from the Directorate of Traffic so that we can be able to sensitize people on water transport accidents. And as we go to the villages for Christmas, dear friends, we have the Highway Court, which the Bishop was saying he has not seen. And I think everybody has got a copy. Kindly read it because it gives the basic rules and advice to the drivers. Read it as you go so that you can be able to follow those regulations. Last but not least, I want to talk about the COVID-19. We are here talking about accidents, but COVID-19 is here with us. Let's follow the standard operating procedures. Let's put on all our masks throughout. Wherever you go, I normally tell people that you must have your mask on because these days the nose and the mouth have become private parts. They are no longer public parts, they're private what? Let's protect them. Let's put on our mask except when we're going to drink and eat. It's now my singular honor and pleasure, Mr. PS, to invite you to come and address the gathering, and thereafter you invite the chief guest. I thank you very much.
Members of Parliament present, our religious leaders, the country representative, World Health Organization, heads of government, ministries and agencies, our colleagues from the Directorate of Traffic and Road Safety, Uganda Police Force, the Chief Executive Officers of civil society organizations and NGOs, private sector representatives, senior government officials, our colleagues, the media fraternity, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to warmly welcome you to this important occasion for the launch of the National Road Safety Week 2021. As we commemorate this week, it's important to note that Uganda, like any other low-income country, is still faced with the challenge of increased road traffic crashes that claim over 3,500 lives every year, and many more are seriously injured. The unfortunate part is that many of these crashes are predictable and can be avoided. The causes of these road traffic crashes are normally behavior, including overspeeding, drunken driving, failure to consider other road users, driving while on the phone, wrongful overtaking, and the poor mechanical condition of vehicles, and of course lack of driving skills, and to some extent inadequate road infrastructure services. Honourable Minister, overspeeding is a major factor in traffic deaths and injuries. The role of speeding in crashes is described in terms of its effect on the driver, the vehicle and the road. Excessive speeding reduces the time the driver has to react in a dangerous situation to avoid a crash. This year's theme, that is, safe speed saves lives, acknowledges that reducing speed is the key to achieving road safety targets, including the Sustainable Development Goal 3.6, that is to reduce road traffic deaths and injuries by 50% by the year 2030, and the Sustainable Development Goal 11.2, which is to provide access to safe, affordable, accessible, and sustainable transport systems for all by the same year 2030. Our invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, road traffic crashes have greatly impacted on our economy as manifested in the form of loss of lives and property damage, medical care to victims, loss of earning by victims, loss of livelihood by the dependents, repair and replacement of accident vehicles, etc., etc. These have derailed the economic progress of the country and increased the poverty from families affected. These have derailed the economic progress of the country and increased poverty for the families affected. We need to work together as individuals, organizations, to prevent this scourge. Uganda is experiencing an exponential rate of increase of motorcycles, the Boda Bodas, which the head of traffic talked of, and of course the imported or the used vehicles. The enormous growth of the Boda Boda industry in the country is attributed to the high public demand for cheap and relatively quick transport services, coupled with ease of acquisition of motorcycles for Boda Boda business, and of course the problem of unemployment. This growth, however, has had a number of negative impacts, characterized by increase in road traffic accidents related to Boda Bodas, increase in crime related to the use of Boda Boda motorcycles, mob justice, among others. Government has put in place adequate legal framework through the amended Traffic and Road Safety Act, which was amended in 2020, to organize public transport, including Boda Bodas, with a view of organizing the entire industry to make it safer, reliable, and economically vibrant. The Ministry is committed to pursuing sustainable funding for road safety investment and interventions. We shall keep advocating for more funding, which should be at least 10% of the funds allocated to road construction and maintenance. With the funding, we shall be able to improve road safety situation in the country. I would like to thank road safety stakeholders who have continued to support the government efforts more than ever before. As for the Ministry of Works and Transport, we wish to pledge our total commitment and readiness to work with you through effective coordination mechanisms and streamlining all the road safety interventions in the country. Honourable Minister, I would like to report to you that the collaboration and the partnerships the Ministry has established with road safety stakeholders have greatly improved the situation. This can be exemplified by the level of involvement and participation of various stakeholders in the road safety activities, including the handover of the global plan, Advocate for Streets for Life, /LAV30. That calls for 30 kilometers per hour speed limits on the streets where people walk to save lives. Driver training, smart travel campaign, among others. As we approach the festive season, let all of us become ambassadors for safe speed in order to save lives. Chief guest, before I invite you, I would like to make a comment on Bishop Luzinda's concern over drunken driving. You know, I have a special relationship with him, so I cannot miss to make a comment. Drunken driving is a problem of people who lack enough courage. So they bank on what they call dirty courage. So if one is lacking in the courage, he will test something to boost the what? The courage, which is called dirty courage. And dirty courage does not only cause overspeeding, but also it causes indiscipline and other things on the road. So that is the aspect of drunken driving. Sir, I would like also to take this opportunity to recognize one of our veteran road safety advocates, Mr. Chizito, who is with us here. Sir, in the same way, I would like to make a comment on what the head of traffic said. incorporating road safety issues into the education curriculum. I don't know what happened. When I was young, I grew up deep in the village, but on our exercise books, there was a highway code. Before you cross the road, look left, look right, then look left. Again, before you cross. But you don't run, walk quickly, but you don't run. And we will recite that thing. We were in the villages, but still we would take use of it. But in a day you would have one bus traversing the way from Kaliro to Buweng, then to Jinja. And the same bus in the evening comes back. So if it leaves you in the morning, you wait for the next day for you to be able to. But we still have this highway code with us. And you know what you learn when you are young? It sticks. Me, when I was young, we used to be told, when I was in school boarding, our headmaster used to say that when you waste electricity, you waste water, it will impact on your welfare, because the money which you would feed you properly will go to pay those bills. Up to now, I cannot pass even a tap which is dripping, and I pass it. I cannot let a bulb to run the whole day. I do it at the office. By the time you reach office, especially on a weekend, the lights they put on last night are still on. I have to switch them off all because of that upbringing. So I would like to support that idea by the police. So I would like to also inform you that last week, Friday, was a very good day for the ministry. We won 3 trophies during a function. Recognize people who embraced technology to disrupt wrong users or wrong people. We won a trophy which was by the use of technology to clear vehicles during the lockdown. So I remember the first lockdown in March, we contacted the New Vision and they printed the security stickers for us. But those stickers were grossly abused. We didn't know until when I found Nakarema summoned me with my whole team to go and make statements. But fortunately, as we were making statements, they arrested somebody from Nasa Road with over 60,000 stickers and arrested another selling them.
I would like the tax operators to stand up. Tax. Ebyogeddwamu biwulidde tetwagala accident. The bus. These are main transporters. I wanted us to recognize them, and they are also responsible people now whom we have been interacting with to ensure that road safety improves. The rest, I think you know. I want to recognize our officers of the traffic police. All of you, please stand. Please forgive me because at one time I was a member in that uniform. So I can't fail to recognize them, and I know we do a thankless job. Nobody thanks a policeman. But I remember one day when they decided to leave the roads in Kampala, everybody understood why they should be there. Please thank you. You are doing a great job. I know you do a great job during this Christmas and festive season and thereon. It is now my great honor to officially be here today to launch the National Road Safety Week 2021. The theme for this year's National Road Safety Week is Safe Speed Saves Life. Safe speed saves life. This theme is aimed at raising awareness on the impact of speeding on roads, which result in road traffic crashes. The causes of road traffic crashes are known and preventable. My PS has actually highlighted most of them. Even the traffic officer highlighted many of them. But of course, overspeeding is one of the most contributing factors which actually cause a lot of these crashes And as you have heard from the story, possibly, which you didn't bring out, maybe, the story of Nicole, they could have had some element of speeding. And overspeeding accounts for over 36% of all fatalities in Uganda. And this has been highlighted by the police report from the traffic officers. Overspeeding makes driving more dangerous because, one, it increases the likelihood that a driver will lose control of the vehicle. Because as it gets, sometimes becomes addictive. As the speed increases, you feel good. You feel good, but then the feeling good sometimes makes you even forget what's happening. It increases stopping distances where you would have braked for in a distance of 5. That's why you see skid marks on the road. It reduces vehicle ability to brake, and it increases the risks of pedestrians and cyclists outside the vehicle. Of course, those are third parties who would not be within the vehicle, but crossing the road, either crossing the road or using the road as also road users. And I think we need to be aware, as the PS was saying, these days we don't have one car. Not even down deep in the village. Even down deep in the village, there are many cars. So there are many other road users. There are also pedestrians. There are cyclists. So we should all be aware of this. Now, according to the World Health Organization, the Pan American Health Organization Report 2018, reducing speed by just 5% cuts fatalities by 30%. So the fatalities that the officer talked about here can be cut by 30% by merely reducing our speed by 30%. By 5%, sorry. By 5%, if you have been speeding in the city here at cruising at 40, reduce that by 5%, and then you reduce the fatalities on the road by 30%. If we are all responsible, and I see very responsible people in this tent, and I hope that this message will go very, very far. I therefore call upon each one of us to embrace this slogan: safe speed saves life. Let's all commit ourselves here before we leave that we shall all observe safe speed to save life. That's our commitment. Let's make that our commitment. If somebody else is speeding fast, don't follow him. You continue with this slogan: safe speed saves life, so that we can protect the lives, our own lives, and the lives of other road users. Because sometimes you may think the life of the guy outside your vehicle doesn't matter, but then you're also endangering your own life. So let's protect each other, our own life, and the lives of those who are outside our vehicles. I therefore direct that my ministry, in consultation with other stakeholders, should review the speed limit regulations and accommodate the 30% speed limit, especially in areas where there are many road users, like where we have schools, where we have pedestrians, where we have elderly people, the disabled using the road, especially within the cities and town councils. Let's make that speed work, and it can work. My partners in police, it can work. We can enforce it. Interestingly, this had also been requested by the civil society, so I've responded directly to your request. Road traffic injuries are the leading cause of death. You have heard the report. I'll not go over the statistics from my good police officer. He has been very, very elaborate, and it was touching to see how we are wasting the lives of our people in this country. How lives in this country is being spent as if it's unexpendable. Life is not expendable. Please keep the messages going about how we should be using our roads safer than we are doing right now. You have heard the statistics, so I will not repeat them. You have heard the cry of the children. The kids here, they poured out their hearts. These are the future generals. These are the future doctors, the future PSAs. Why should we stop their lives just like what happened to Nicole, halfway her life? At the time when she was in her prime life, but because of either irresponsible driving or anything, something like that, and we lost her. These kids have been very, very straight. They have said it all. And I wish we could hear parents, because we are the ones behind the wheels. We load these kids 5 on the motorbike, on a motorcycle, but wale. You don't know whether they're going to reach. Let's be responsible. The kids have made a cry. They have cried to all of us. Their poem was very, very touching. And I wish it could be played and played and played during this festive season for everybody who has an ear to hear what the kids are saying. As you may be aware, government through my ministry joined the rest of the world on 20th October 2021 to receive the global plan and to be able to intervene towards achieving the target of the second decade of action of road safety, to have the number of road crashes by 2030. Last time when we were here, we gave ourselves a target and we said, no, that's the target by the world. We should reduce that before 2030. That should be our target. We should reduce these numbers. This is a big 3,600 people every year for 5 years. That's not something good, to talk about. We should all be ashamed of how we are expending our lives on the roads. And every time an accident happens, do you know what we say? The roads are small. If you know the roads are small, then be more careful. Because the roads didn't come yesterday. You have been traveling on that road many times. And you notice small. So if you notice small, be more careful. We should not find excuses for causing accidents on the roads. It doesn't pay, because the excuse does not bring back the life which will have been lost. On the 21st of November, we're here to commemorate the World Remembrance Day for road traffic victims in Uganda, with the focus of reduction of traffic speeds, low speeds which have the potential to prevent many deaths and serious injuries. In particular, those of pedestrians and other vulnerable road users, including children, the vulnerable, the elderly, and also the disabled. I would like to thank the Interreligious Council. Thank you for standing with us all the time. Thank you very much. We really appreciate the energy and the effort. And you are always leading prayers on these days, and you have led us very well today. The quotes from the Bible, those who have ears must have heard, and I hope they will follow. And as I said last time, and I'm very happy that you have picked it up, and we are preaching it out every Friday, every Saturday, every Sunday during prayers, so that people can hear from you. I'm aware that our people, many will be traveling to and from their up-country homes during festival season. It's very interesting sometimes when you see how people travel. Some are packing bags to go to the village. Others are packing from the village to come to the city. I wish everybody would stay where he was, but it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen, and because we know it won't happen, we have actually been even in negotiations for the benefit of the media. We are negotiating with bus operators to see how to mitigate on the prices for those people who will be traveling up country, so that our people are not exploited during the festival season, but also that the bus operators don't lose out, because they're also incurring a lot of expenses in running the buses. I've already discussed with the leadership in the taxi industry that they should also come up with the fares which are fairly okay for the travelers. But I would like to call upon everybody, if you're planning to move either up country or downtown, plan your journey early. Why do you want to go the latest on the 23rd, 24th in the night that you're setting off for Lukunjiri? It's not near, but then you want to be there before the morning of 25th so that you attend the church service in the morning. bakulaba mukuru wazze mu kitundu. So then what happens then is that you are likely to overspeed. Respect rules and regulations on the road and road signs. This is a very big problem. We don't respect road signs. You see the road sign saying reduce speed to 50. Somebody is just stepping on the gas when he sees 50. Reduce speed to 50, the man is increasing speed. We don't observe road signs. And that's very dangerous for us, maybe because the highway code is not highly understood. And of course, we need to exercise our discipline on the road. That's it, and everybody should be able to understand that. Let me take this opportunity to thank our distinguished stakeholders from the government ministries, departments and agencies, civil society organization and private sector, who have been very, very passionate about road safety and have provided great support to my ministry in all road safety related matters. I want to applaud your endless support in terms of advocacy, lobbying for funds towards implementation of road safety interventions to supplement government efforts. Let's give everybody a round of applause for the role they have played. Honorable Member of Parliament, members of Parliament who are here, you know that road safety is looked at as a consumptive item in the budget. But you have heard the numbers. You have heard the impact. I think it's high time, as the PS said, we looked at it as not a consumptive part of an item, but a very necessary inject in making sure that our roads are safe and less lives are lost. Government, through my ministry, is committed to implementing policies and interventions to improve road safety in the country. My ministry is in the final stages of ascending to the United Nations legal instrument. As I speak now, they're being discussed in cabinet on road safety, as well as implementing and promoting their provisions into safety regulations and ensuring that the legislation and standards for road design and construction, vehicles and road use are consistent with the safe system principles and can be enforced. The ministry is also to ensure political commitment and responsibility. If you remember, His Excellency himself raised an alarm on the Day of the Disabled, you remember. And his concern was, why are the numbers of the disabled not decreasing? Because it was told that actually the big number of the disabled group was no longer from the polio, but from accidents. And he said, no, this should not be. This should not happen. So he gave us a task, all of us, and he said we should work towards reducing this because it's a national concern. So my ministry will work with the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development and other relevant stakeholders to initiate a national campaign to eliminate recklessness on the roads and improve road safety. We shall also involve the Ministry of Education, as we have already heard, getting the highway code as part of the curriculum of the children, right from primary all through, so that by the time one graduates from senior 6 of Makerere University or whatever university and is going to be on the road as a driver, he knows the highway code. The ministry, in collaboration with the other stakeholders, is in the final stages of developing the National Road Safety Action Plan to align with the global plan. My ministry will also work towards establishing regional, national and subnational road safety committees with a multi-sector partnership to deliver the scale of efforts required to achieve this target by 2025, because for us we said we should not go to 2030. We should reduce the fatalities and accident numbers by 2025 to half the numbers. That's our target. We're in the process of formulating new regulations and also reviewing the existing regulations to fully operationalize the Traffic and Road Safety Act as amended 2020. I'm aware stakeholders consultations and validation workshops are scheduled this week. And so please attend those workshops, contribute. We are not the masters of everything. Knowledge is not limited. contribute during those workshops as you participate, and we shall accommodate your views as much as possible. I'm also launching the Fika Salama Extra, which means mongerere mudalachi amanyi. This business of gamba nogu, there should be no gamba nogu. This time, everybody must conform. Please, traffic, don't bat your eye on indiscipline on the road. We cannot continue reporting these numbers as if it's fun. It can't be fun. 5 years, we are reporting 3,600 people. 5 years? No. We should see the number reducing. It should not only be during Christmas time or festive time, it should now be our effort, all of us. You know, I also want you to ensure this. You know the black spots, you know where they are. Specifically for this festive season, go and remark those black spots. Put back the road signs if they are not there. Put back the guardrails if they are not there for this festive season. My ministry pledges to support intersectoral coordination and collaboration and improve road safety situations and create a safer, more accessible and more sustainable environment for transport systems as well as for all road users. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard the kids here say, and they said it well, road safety is a shared responsibility. Whether you are a pedestrian, whether you are a driver, whether you are a passenger, why do you have a passenger seat? And this Boda Boda man rides you as if you are luggage, takes you on the pavement, and you are seated comfortably. Surely. And then you say about Boda Boda tebategeera. Naye naawe gwe yeetisse, olabikanga tukola ki? Because you are seated there, the man is hitting the pavement, he's going here, that way, and you are seated comfortably. Why don't you also become responsible and tell him, Nedda, obatovuga bulungi nvaako, after all there are many. He drops you there, another one will pick you. Yes, we are going to be working on bringing order in that sector of the industry, the transport industry of Boda Boda, but we should all be responsible. So it's a shared responsibility, and it's not possible that we as a ministry, even the police, will be everywhere. It's not possible. We can't have a policeman breathing behind everybody's neck all the time. It's not possible, even if we wanted. Their numbers are not enough. So let's all be responsible. So we are committed as a ministry to support all the MDAs, the civil society organization, and the private sector, that we partner on this matter. It's a matter we need to address together. Before I conclude, I would also like to join the Director of Transport, who hinted about accidents on the water. Yeah, those ones are not usually talked about, because even the injuries are very few. In most cases, it's death, not even injury. So, as we look at safety on the roads, I think I've seen the commissioner in charge of Marine Department. Yes, you should also look at the safety on the water, because I don't know whether we have even the numbers of those fatalities. Not because I come from Kalangala, that's I'm talking about water safety, but it's a matter of concern. We should also need to look at water safety as a requirement. Thank you all, and let us work together to reduce the road crashes on our roads. And I wish you all a very safe, secure Christmas. Very safe, secure Christmas. We don't want these statistics of big numbers after Christmas. And of course, a prosperous 2022. Hopefully the masks will also somehow disappear. We hope so. I know that our ladies friends are very annoyed because the lipstick cannot be seen now. But let's look at 2022, maybe the time life will change. So we all pray for ourselves. We look forward to a bright 2022 with less accidents. Thank you very much. I say this for God and my country. And with that, I want to launch the Safety Week and also the Fika Salama Extra to ensure that we protect our people on the road. Thank you very much. God bless.